Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the crap and all that malarkey. It's me in person, yep, a new start to a new video. I just want to pop on and give you a bit of an introduction to this one. I don't know if this is going to be one video, two videos, who knows, it may be three videos. As you might know, I'm a really good friend of Gayle Agostinelli. We support each other, we get along really well, and one day I'm going to meet the lovely lady, and let's hope 2022 is the year, Gayle. So last year in 2021, I happened to watch a video, can't quite remember whose video it was. It might have been Shanuki Art, and she did a video where she did a 5-item swap with somebody. Basically, I don't know whether there were specific rules or not. She sent them 5 items and they sent her 5 items, and from that 5 items you needed to make something, and I like this idea. Now I did the Marguerite Miller challenge last year and I absolutely adored it. However, the problem was taking on a yearly challenge a little bit much for me, but I thought this is a one-off challenge, you never know, if I enjoy it I might do a 5-item swap with another creator out there and see how we get on. Anyway, I contacted Gayle and went, Gayle, how do you fancy doing this? And she's really excited about it because her word or mantra for this year is play, and I'm trying to be a little more relaxed about what I do and basically enjoy the process of being an artist just as much as she wants to be. So I put together a package of 5 items and sent them to her, and she sent me this. Now I haven't opened this, and Gayle won't have opened her package either. We're going to open these on screen, and then what we're going to do is, from what's the contents of here, I need to make something or several somethings, or maybe many several somethings. I don't know what's in this box yet. Bit terrifying, Gayle. I didn't expect it to be a box this big. Gayle in her package, of course I know what it is and I don't want her to see this video. We're going to try and coordinate launching the videos on the same day at the same time, so you can see both of them, and we'll try to link in the description box, which is a little V in the bottom right hand corner when you're watching the YouTube channel. Click on that and that'll drop down the description, and hopefully I'll be able to get the link to Gayle's in there just after she's launched her video, so then we'll both be able to link each other. So I've sent her some stuff as well. I've got a feeling I know what Gayle is going to make though, and it's just going to be fun. Now I didn't have any rules, so I have made up a few guidelines for this challenge, which I'll go over when I actually open the box, because to be honest I haven't printed them out and I can't remember them off the top of my head, but they were very loose guidelines. Basically things along the fact that you have to use one of everything in the box or the package. You can add anything else you want to it, and you can create as many videos from it as you wish, and I think that was basically the essence of it. So I'm really excited to do this challenge, and let's see how this goes. So Gayle, that's a big old box, girl. That's a big box, and I'm scared of what you put in this one. So unless me gassing on, let's get and open the box. So give me a few seconds. I need to flip the camera around, and once I flip the camera around, you'll be then into the overhead for the whole rest of this video, and potentially for another video, because I really do think this is going to be more than one video. So hope you're as excited as I am. And Gayle, when you're watching this, because I know you're going to, I think you're up to mischief, young lady. I've got a feeling that you're, who knows what's in that box. We're all going to find out in a second. So see you there, guys. I'll flip the camera around and let's have a look. Let's open the box. So here we are with into the overhead, and I must admit I'm sort of excited and nervous. I've been looking at this package for a while going, I wonder what's inside. Now it comes to opening it, I'm like, oh my god, I wonder what's inside. But never mind. I've done my best to cover all of the addresses to protect Gayle and myself. I mean, not that my address is hugely hidden, and I don't think Gayle's is hugely hidden either, but there's no need to advertise it to a world any more than you have to. Right, let's do this first. Okay, I did say I made up some rules. Now, I don't know whether someone else put this together originally, this 5-item swap. As I said, I can't find anything on it that seems to be the official originator. So this is what I actually sent to Gayle. I said, you must make something at least one from at least... Start that one again. You must make something using at least one piece from each of the packages. If you use more, then that's great. By packages, I mean each of the 5 collections. When I wrote this, I had mine in packages, in a package, which you'll see when you watch Gayle's. Number 2, you must make a video of you using the items and share it with your subscribers. If the project takes more than 1 video, that's fabulous and gives everyone more viewing enjoyment. I've got a feeling I'm probably going to be the one that has to do more than 1 video. Number 3, you may add any of your own supplies to your project. Why not? You are meant to have fun with this, so basically no stress involved. And that sounds a bit lectury from me. Not meant to be, it's just that I'm trying to enhance Gayle's word of the year, which is the word play. And it isn't. This is just a bit of fun. I mean, I could make a complete mess up of this. And Gayle could do something absolutely fabulous and I look like a fool. I doubt it, because we're all going to have fun with it. Anyway, so sharp knife. Anyone watching this, obvious, mind your fingers when you're using a sharp blade. Don't know why I felt the need to say that, but here you go. I suppose probably warning to me if no one else. Right, I don't want to go too far through this plastic because I don't know what's just under the surface of this cardboard. If I know Gayle, there's some juicy packaging in here. I'm trying not to hit my head on the overhead. That's the trouble. This is about as far back as I can ever get my camera. So you've got part of my dishevelled desk as well. Ooh, look, we've got packaging. Isn't it sad? We all get excited about packaging. Okay, packaging. Right. I've got a little table over here which I'm taking stuff out onto. So let's see if I can do that. Okay, oh, that's done. Oh, you remembered I love dragonflies. Right, I'm just going to open this off screen just to make sure there's nothing in there I need to think about. Right, I just need to take that out of there. Okay, let me have a quick read. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Gayle. A little message from my friend Gayle. Dragonflies are hugely significant to me and I love them and they're quite pivotal in my life and they're quite pivotal in a lot of people's lives. So Gayle sent me this little folio. I'm loving this. This is so cute. I know Gayle will have tucked stuff. You did tuck stuff. Ooh. Loving. I love that stamp or paper or whatever that is to start with, Gayle. That's gorgeous. I like the way too that Gayle's actually used the bit she punched out as an element to tie them together. Is there anybody in here? Yay! Gayle, that's gorgeous. Thank you. I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to add this to my journal, my personal journal, so I don't forget that. And this will remind me. And actually what I'll do is I will put my rules that I wrote in there as well. There you go. That's an addition to my journal. That reminds me I need to write some more in my journal. I've been a bit negligent. Right, 5 items challenge. Okay, here we go. What have you done, Gayle? What are you up to? So, ooh, yummy papers. And a yummy envelope too. Right, sorry, hopefully the crinkling does not get you. Ooh, that's definitely got a future as a journal cover as far as I'm concerned. There you go, loving that. Okay, we've got some slides here, or I always called them transparencies in this country. My father used to take them when we were, so I'm just looking through them to see if I can see anything. Oh, cute. Okay, so my father used to take transparencies when I was a kid. He wasn't around very much, so I don't really know much more about him than that. And then I'm quite heavily into photography, but not as much as I used to be. And I used to take these as well. I've got thousands of these, of ones that I've taken, because I like transparencies, they give you better colour. Okay, cogs. Those are die cuts, I'm assuming. Yeah, Gayle, you haven't cut those by hand, have you, Gayle? No, they're a die cut. I'm sure they're a die cut. Okay, I'm feeling a bit in Tim Halsey. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. So we've got a die cut. What am I talking about? An embossed envelope. To me, that looks I can't even tell you the size of that. What is the size of that? Let's see, 6 by 9. Oh, you could put that in a signature, or maybe do a little journal, maybe. Creston Oral B, you've been to the pharmacy. Thank you for that. That's lovely. Yeah, oh wow, that's major crunchy. Gayle, what have you been up to? Oh, actually, is this... Oh, what's the name of it? Is it Stains by Paddy Pockets? I think I saw you brush one of these papers with that. That's exciting. Okay, my brain is beginning to wig out on that one. Ooh, Gayle, you've been shopping with Mr. Holtz, or your friend Timmy, as you call him. Wow, thank you. You can get Tim Holtz in this country, but it's just, I find it a bit over the top expenses-wise sometimes, because also Tim Holtz stuff is a little bit addictive. You buy one, you go have the next bit, and go have the next bit. This is such a stash gift. Right, I'm going to have to... Ooh, I haven't got this group. Well, that's good because my people are beginning to reduce. I have a feeling I may well be heading down the let's make a quick journal with this lot. I wonder how... So just having a bit of a thoughtful moment. 6. That's the end of this. It's about there. 6 by 10. So I could do a 6 by 5 journal and use these, and actually not a journal like an ephemera holder. I don't know. Let's see where my brain goes with the rest of that. Oh, and some Timmy papers. Timmy. Oh, look, you've got me calling him Timmy now. Where's my knife gone? Remember your fingers, Griffiths. They're very important to you. I'm like Gayle. I'm not a lover of plastic packaging. And yes, we know it's all because of the planet. I don't like it, but actually I don't like it because I can never get it off the packaging without off the things I'm buying. But these ones are quite good. I've had these before. These round ones. They do. Said he, ripping it. Oh, there you go. Well, I will be making ephemera from the front anyway. So, industry. I do feel a definite theme here, Gayle. This is incredibly generous of you, young lady. I do think I'm going to have to let's get rid of the box. You can have a look without the box in the way. I think I'm going to have to be doing some sort of, maybe a Tim Holtz ephemera folder. With some, that's nice, with some pages and pockets to tuck stuff into. Right, so lots and lots and lots of things to think about. Okay, I think I'm going to have to pause this video now, do a bit of scouting around here in the workshop, pull some pieces together, and start the process. I'm excited. So let's see. So yes, my brain is sort of distracted. It's like when Ceri sees a squirrel, I don't even just get distracted, I just disappear sometimes. So, okay, Gayle, very generous. Thank you so much. Love, love, love it. I'm going to take a few minutes, guys, to step away from this and go, right, what the heck can I make with all of this? I need to have a bit of a 2-minute think, because my brain is giving me like 1,000 ideas all at the same time, and that's kind of not helping because I now can't think what I'll do. So that's our version of the 5-item challenge. I can almost guarantee this is going to be 2 videos because there's no way in heck I'm going to get all of this done in one. I'll be back in a second, guys. Thanks for your patience. Okay, I'm back, and I freely admit I made a mistake. When I opened the box, I was so eager to see what was in the box, I ignored this brilliant pink post-it note that was on this manila envelope. I looked at the big picture and forgot to look at the details. This envelope contained the 5 elements I'm supposed to use. The rest was actually Happy Mail or Gayle Mail, and as I very rarely get Happy Mail, I think I probably only had it twice in my entire life, I wasn't actually expecting Happy Mail. So all of the Tim Holtz stuff, Gayle, you are so precious and so generous, and I thank you so much for it. That's added to my stash. I'm going to use the odd element in what I'm doing, but the things in this envelope were the ones I have to create from. So whereas I said, oh, I'll do a folio flip, I'll do a journal, I'll do this, do that, do the other, I had to do a bit of a rethink. So got out of a good sweater, put on my old sweatshirt because I know this is going to get mucky. This is going to go into the recycle drawer because this will become something later. And what I've decided to do is just a brief reminder of what was the elements. So I had die cut cogs, Those are fabulous, love those. I had a few transparencies or slides. Again, those are fabulous. I had, what would you call this? A pharmacy sack that medication and stuff come in. That's also fabulous. I had this really yummy piece of texturized envelope, and I've definitely got an idea for that. And then I had this absolutely gorgeous, stupendous and lovely piece of grungy paper that, as I said, I think has been treated with Paddy's Pockets. Paddy Pocket stains. I think that's the one that Gayle has used to do this, so I'm really excited about that. And I have switched around everything I thought I wanted to do and changed it all up and come up with another idea. I have at least 4 art journals, and this is my private art journal. This is the one that you guys don't normally see. This is the one that I do stuff in that sometimes you just need to create on your own for yourself without the cameras turned on, and this is the one I do this in. And I thought this whole challenge is pretty much like a celebration of a friendship with Gayle and I have, which Gayle and I have, and I thought I don't want to make ephemera or things that are likely to eventually be given away or sold as part of a commission or part of a journal. I want to make pieces that I'm going to keep. So I'm going to celebrate some of the journeys and some of the stories in my life in a collage type art spread. Now, we know Gayle's been instrumental in some of my life changes and decisions, and I will talk about those as I go along. Gayle, if you're watching, grab a handkerchief or a Kleenex, because you're probably going to burst into tears at some point. But I have a lot to be grateful to her for in directing me through my life in the last few years. And I just want to celebrate that and other stuff in this art spread. So it'll make more sense as I go along. You know me, I'm a bit of a storyteller when I do collage. Gayle loves collage and I love collage. I like mixed media, Gayle likes mixed media. We do lots of very similar things, but then we do things that are very different to each other at the same point. So I want to get on and do something, and I really thought, okay, as I'm putting stuff on the page, everything I'm putting on there will have meaning for me, and I'll explain to you what the meaning is roughly. I'm not going to go into a whole in-depth anything, but you will see what I mean. So first of all, I want to make these black because I don't want them grey, and also I want some of this envelope, but I don't want all of this envelope. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my guillotine, cut it down there, because what I'll eventually do, sorry, I'm a guillotine person, not a trimmer person. I'm going to take that off. Yeah, okay, this piece I'm going to save it, I'm going to re-glue that down there, so then that will become an individual element, but it's not for this. I don't have to use all of the stuff in this challenge, only bits of it. And I'm going to use this, actually, well, I've got this here, why don't I just use the trimmer? Because I don't want to use this as an envelope, I don't want to use it as a pocket. I'm more focused on the texture. I don't think I cut that one straight. I didn't think I did. So I'm going to use this as textural pieces within my collage. So there you go. So that's another use for that. Now, let's get rid of that and that. I want to change the colour of some of these things. For what I've got in mind, this is too bright. So I'm going to use some ink to take this back to a colour that I want. So I have to prep stuff first. So you're with me on this journey. Is this video going to be an hour long? I very much doubt it. Am I going to change it into 2 videos? No. I'm going to enjoy the whole process of the video. This is just vintage photo distressing, by the way. I'm going to put this on here and just plunge those into it, and then that way I can get some colour on here. Well, not so much colour, some stain on here, and it will take them back a bit and add to the grungy view of what we're doing. Spray a bit on there as well. You've seen me do this with different background pieces. I don't normally do this with envelopes, so hopefully the envelope won't fall to pieces. It shouldn't do. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's what I was thinking of. And I'll do that with both halves because I don't know how much I'm going to use. And there's always the scrap box which things can go into. Okay, I'm going to leave that in my window over there, and that will dry that off. Now I want this one a little bit less dark because I want to accentuate just the raised elements on this. So I'm not going to wet the envelope first. I want a grungy look to this. So I also thought it might be really nice to do this as a mixed media project because I think Gayle may have assumed I'm going to make ephemera from this. And I thought, right, I got you. Okay, so I've got the two pieces here. I've got the one that's really grungy and I've got one that really shows up the texture. So I've got options now for those to be used. Let's put those to one side. As I said, the windows, it's a nice sunny day today, so the window's going to really shine down on that. Let's put that, where can that go? I've run out of space already, that's a bad sign. Let's put that down by there. Now, when it comes to these pieces, I don't want them grey. I would prefer they were black. So I'm going to paint them, and what I'm going to do is, when I paint things that are quite intricate or stuff like this, I tend to do it with a sponge. These are just household sponges, you know, the ones you get from the dollar store or the pound store. You can get probably 2 or 3 for £1 or $1. And then what happens is I cut them up with just the scissors and I use them. Now, if I chose, I can wash them after I've used them and reuse them a couple of times, but I don't tend to get overly enthusiastic about worrying about that. I'm also going to take, I've got some black gesso here. Gesso, and I'm using gesso because if I put anything over the top of these pieces, the gesso will stop the cardboard absorbing it so much. Actually, I've got nothing to put these on. Let's put on that instead. There you go, all best laid plans, and I completely forgot I need something to put them on to dry. So, come off there. I just wanted a different sort of look for these. And I put far too much black gesso out, but I intend using black gesso on the piece I'm doing anyway. So hopefully that little bit won't dry up, because there's one disadvantage of these, I can't get the lid off. I know on some of them I can get the lid off, but for some reason I really struggle getting the lids off the bigger ones. So maybe they don't want me to get the lid off. Or maybe I was just feeling really weak. It's Sunday today, and we've had some horrible, horrible weather all week, but today it's absolutely gloriously sunshine. It's beautiful, and I'm feeling very blessed to be able to do something I love for someone I respect, and a project that I've initiated between the two of us. And I'm just happy. I'm just happy. It feels like a good day. Right, I'm going to move this up to the top. Remember where it is if I put it by there. These are now going to be drying. They won't take that long, but they're going to be drying in the sunshine as well. It's just this a bit of a wipe. So not that I'm really picky about getting my art journal dirty. It's an art journal. Art journals become dirty. Well, they become artistically embellished. So I pulled out some of my jelly prints, and I can pull out more if I want. There's enough of them. I'm using this spread here, which I'm really happy about. I hope I can stay in shot for most of it. If not, I will move it around so you can see it. So I wanted to put onto here, I wanted this to become, I don't want to say the story of my life. It's not the story of my life, but it's something I want to remember once I've done it. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to take the bag and I'm going to put the bag into the page. And then I'm going to collage over the top of it. And by doing that, and then once it's done, I'm going to trim this off. And I'm going to slide into this bag after the collage has been done. I'm going to slide into there a journal card with everything about doing this collage. So I'm just going to tear that down a bit. So this is the first element that actually needs to go on this page. Now, I'm hoping this is going to work. I'm not sure. I've not done this with a page before now, but we'll see. I'm using matte gel medium, the Liquitex Acrylics Basics. I tend to use it as a glue, and it also seals as well. So, and I'm going to be using one of the Tim Holtz Distress brushes as well, just to get this on the page. Now, it's going to be held in place by what's on it and what's over it, but I do want to make sure that it's fully in contact with everything on the page, so that future proofing it, should we say. So I'm not going to end up with something that falls off the page or tears the bit after it. I don't need to go all the way to the top. So I'll bring this into about, I think by there is probably a good enough place. So just popping that on there. Now the thing is, as I said, I'm going to trim the edge of this later, so it's not going to be seen. If this was an envelope, if this was a bag that had a really thick seam at the bottom here, I would have actually just cut it down and re-glued the bottom, but it didn't appear to, and I think this will lay quite flat under what I want. So, well, I've got black one. Of course I used black paint, didn't I, Griffiths? So that's the start of the collage. Now, I really loved this paper, and I really love elements of it more than other elements of it, and I really do want to bring this into the fore. And the reason I want to use this, just start tearing this down while I've got it in my hand, is my whole life, if I want to call it I do want to call it my whole life. My whole life has pretty much been about me reinventing myself all the time. It seems that whenever I think I'm on the right track, I'm going to save this bit because I might want it later, and whenever I'm on the right track, the universe decides otherwise, and boom, there I am gone. And I have to start all over again. And that has been, I don't want to say a mantra, I can never say that word. I don't want to say it's a mantra for my life, but it seems to be sort of a guide for my life, that I always seem to be having to reinvent myself. And I've done it a fair few times now. I mean, I started life, I need to put a page under there. Sorry, 1 second, so I don't get glue all over everything else on here. I started life as a cook when I first left school. That was the very first job I could get. And we're from a family that basically you had to work because we didn't have any money. So, and that's fine. I mean, there's lots of people like that in the world, and I was one of them. So I'm just going to stick that down up there. So basically, I went from a cook to managing to secure a job in a 5-star hotel as a trainee chef. That didn't work out, and I then had to leave the chefing business, and luckily enough my head chef pointed me in the direction of bakery and confectionery school, and I became a baker and a confectioner. So I'll make sure that's right. Any bits that are showing afterwards, I will just vintage photo the top edges here. I am going to put this over the top as well. I know this is already sealed, but I want to make sure it's all sealed down. Sorry if my arm is in the way. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I then left and went to Bakery and Confectionery College. Spent 3 years in Bakery and Confectionery College. And at the end of that 3 years, qualified, distinctions, a whole lot. Got a job. My first job was actually being a cake decorator for my own cake decorating tutor, which to me always amazes me, that she employed me as her cake decorator in her family bakery. I'm hoping this sticks. I've got a horrible feeling that this is going to be a troublesome piece of something, but if it peels back, that will just add to the uniqueness of it. Am I worried about wrinkles and creases? No, because in my mind those wrinkles and creases will represent the challenges I've had in my life, without harping on about it, but you get where I'm going with this. So so then after a while working at the bakery, the family business closed. Not my fault. No, I didn't do it. No, don't worry. It wasn't me. Don't worry. But the family business closed and I had to find another job. I had started my own small cake decorating business on the side. So I was doing wedding cakes and celebration cakes and stuff like that for clients of my own, which was fine. The bakery fully knew of it. There was never any conflict of interest. They were quite happy for me to do it. It was a venture that I wanted to do, and I was doing it. So what happened was there wasn't enough income from that to actually go full time. So I had to get myself a job, basically, which I did. This really don't want to stick down. I'm wondering if there's something to do with the stain that's on it. As I said, I'm going to be doing layers and layers, so it'll probably work itself down eventually anyway. So what was I up to? So yes, I ended up getting a job in a local supermarket or grocery store, and it was a really big one, and they had an in-store bakery. So I was employed as a baker and confectioner for them. The only trouble was, however, that after a few months I started developing breathing problems. And the breathing problems, it turns out, was because I was actually, when I was a child, I was a chronic asthmatic. And I lost my asthma at the age of 7. So we all thought everything was hunky-dory and it was okay and there wasn't going to be any problems in the future. Well, little did we know that the asthma had left my lungs weak. Therefore, I was destined to always have lung issues. So I'd started developing something called pneumococcis of the lungs, which some of you may know as coal miner's disease, or it's like an industrial thing where it was the husk of the wheat and my lungs weren't happy about each other, basically. So anyway, so I had to make a decision. I was told I could keep working if I wanted to. I would be wearing a mask. I'd have to take medication. I would use an asthma pump probably on a daily basis, or I could pretty much leave the bakery industry, which I loved, and start another career. Well, at 20, how old was I? I want to say 24 years old, maybe 23 and a half. I was like, well, I don't really want to spend the whole rest of my life doing all those medical things. So I made the hard decision. So these are some of my jelly prints I'm going to be popping in here. I mean, I made the really hard decision of leaving. I don't mind the straight edge. I think I'm going to keep the straight edge. So I made the very, very difficult decision to actually leave 3 years of training and everything I'd worked so hard to get and start all over again. Now, the doctors had said I would be able to regain quite a bit of my lung capacity, so they wouldn't be huge long-term problems. But they did say that I needed to take up some form of exercise to be able to do it. I'm not the sort of person who goes to the gym. I wasn't the sort of person back then to go to the gym. Things have developed since then, which is another part of this story. I'm loving the brownness of this. This must be the stain Gayle put on that's pulling off. And I actually quite like it. It gives me a nice background to this. Hoping you can see all this. I'm moving it around quite a bit. Hopefully you can. So where was that to? So the doctors were saying you need to actually work on getting your respiratory system back up to where it should be. And it was a difficult decision. And it was a case of, how do I do that? They said, take up swimming. Swimming is a good all-round exercise. You can do that. There's plenty of swimming pools around. It's something that will really help. After I put these on, by the way, I will be trimming the corners, so I'm not overly worried about stuff. I'm wondering whether I want to... No, there's probably going to be another piece of something there. Let's have a quick look. Right, I wanted to include some of Gayle's stuff in this as well. So this is part of her digital, I believe. I always get the names of the digitals wrong, so I would say just go to Gayle's Etsy store, which is Cinnamon Tea. That's cinnamon and the letter T. And look up Gayle Agostinelli's shop, which is what that's called. So I'm losing the plot here because I'm trying to think, talk and work. Never a good combination for me. So where was I up to? So yes, look for that thing from Gayle's. So I'm just going to put this in here. So I wasn't that keen on swimming. So I thought, right, I need to do something else. And luckily enough, well, as fortune would say, let's put it that way, a new dance studio was opening up about, I'd say 5 minutes walk away from my house. And I'd always been someone who'd done musical theatre in school. I was part of the I don't know what you call it. It's like entertainments thing at school. I'd done lots of that sort of stuff anyway, and I enjoyed it. And I thought, I've always been someone who likes going out and dancing. Maybe I'll just go and do some dance classes, and that will help me gain my lung capacity back. So that's exactly what I did. I went, I signed up for some jazz classes, and I really enjoyed that. And there was a youth group, a youth dance group in Cardiff at the time, which is where I was living, or which is home to me. And they were looking for boy dancers for their youth group. Now, the trouble was, well, a couple of problems were, there was not a lot of boys who were willing to do dance, because it was, back then it was like, oh, it's a very gay thing, I can't be a Nancy boys dance, the whole attitude to that. And they spotted me in class and asked me to join. Now, at 23 and a half, 24, I was too old for their dance group, but rules were bent and exceptions were made, because pretty much they were desperate to get male dancers. So I spent about 6 to 8 months performing with them. We did a couple of tours, just as a completely untrained novice, if you want to call it that. I'm liking where that's going. So that was fine. And then after about 6 or 8 months, I really was beginning to enjoy it. And I was like, I wonder whether I can make a career out of this. So, right, let me just have a quiet moment a second here. I really like this green. In fact, I really like this green as well. I don't know why I'm choosing the colours I'm choosing, guys. I'm just absolutely going by gut instinct here. That green is calling to me. I don't want the yellow in it, however. And I don't want that to be a straight edge. Okay, back to me. So I went to the head of this dance studio and said, listen, I'm in the youth group. I'm really enjoying classes. Do you think I could make a career out of this? Do you think this is possibly what I'm meant to be doing? And the woman in charge, I have no idea, I can't remember her name now, it's not worth remembering anyway, turned to me and said, no, you're not good enough and you're too old, just forget the whole idea. Anyone who knows me knows that's not a good thing to say to me, because I immediately contacted the 3 top dance schools in London, arranged audition dates with them, went on, auditioned for them, and got into 2 out of the top 3 colleges in London. That sort of wiped the smile off that woman's face, I can tell you. So off I did at about, how old was I? About 25, well, it was 25 at the time. At 25, I upped and offed to dance college in London. I was the oldest student in the whole establishment, by about 8 or 9 years older than anyone else. I went to a place called Laban, which is a centre for movement and dance, and it was contemporary dance and ballet, which in hindsight was a mistake. But you never know. You go with your gut feeling. I didn't know much about dance before I went there, so I didn't actually know what the options were, what would have been a good choice, or anything like that. So I just went with my gut feeling, and that was where I ended up. Right, I quite like this bit here as well. So after about 6 months, it was obvious by everyone in the faculty that I was struggling. And not with actually the physicality or the routines or the technical side of stuff, but I was struggling with the fact that I was in a predominantly ballet-based school where everything had to have a meaning, or was ultra serious, or had to carry a message. And basically, I was obviously a jazz hands musical theatre person. I was the one that was always smiling from the back of the stage and always cheering along, and it was like I was in the wrong place. It was, I didn't realise it, but a lot of other people did. So I was called into the office and they said, Ceri, this isn't working for you. We're aware this is sort of a last-ditch attempt for you. We need to help you move somewhere else, which, bless their hearts, the principal of the entire school was someone called Dr. Marion North, and she helped me find a stage school which privately auditioned me. So I went along, did a private audition for them. They liked what they saw. Again, I think the fact that I was a guy in a predominantly female world really helped the fact. And they offered me a place, but they said, we can't give you the regular 3 years training. Because if we give you 3 years training, you're going to be too old to perform by the time we get out the other end. And that was very true. So what I decided was, or what they helped me do was, I need to add this texture in Turner. What they helped me decide to do was, I love the way that faded out. Sorry, thinking. I don't like that line across there, but that doesn't mean I can't split the piece and use it as two separate pieces. So what they did is they helped me by constructing a 3-year course in pretty much 18 months, purely just for me. So I would do extra classes to anyone else. I would be in doing extra time on the weekends. It was tough, it was lovable, and it was enjoyable. By the time the 18 months had ended, I'd already got a job. I was doing a show in Japan. I'd been picked up by another company, and I'd already done a show in Sadler's Wells in London as well, doing My Fair Lady with Bonnie Langford. So lots of things were telling me I was on the right path. And I was grateful for it. And I was so happy that everyone helped me get to where I was. After that, I worked for many years performing. I worked with Daniel LaRue on tour. I did some Welsh TV shows. I actually even did a movie where I was only extra. Oh, actually, I did have a minor role, but the minor role never made it to the final cut. I don't know why. Well, probably just didn't fit the storyline properly or something. So I did one of those, did adverts. My agent got me the jobs he could, although he wasn't a very good agent, and I eventually got rid of him. But yes, and then the last move in the dance career was there was a phone call came through to me going, listen, one of the boys has dropped out on a contract. Do you want to go to America? And I was like, yeah, lovely. What as? And it turned out a cruise line team had had a boy drop out, and they were already in rehearsals in Miami. And they said, can you be on a plane in 2 days' time, get to Miami and do the shows and go on board the cruise ships with them? And I said, okay, that I can do, which is what I did. I packed really quickly, got myself on a coach, got to Heathrow, and off I was. And before I know it, I was in Miami. I showed up at the hotel where the team was staying. And this bit really makes me laugh, which is why I want to tell you this. I turned up at the hotel, and I think I want to put a piece of that in there. Turned up at the hotel and knocked the door of the line captain. Now, the line captain is a person who coordinates everything to do with the team when it goes to showtime. So, like, she's almost the manager of the dance or performance company. Let's put it that way. And her name is Alison. And to this very day, she's a lifelong friend of mine, and we are so soulmates. We just are. I mean, she means the world to me, and love her to bits. And she lives in Sydney, and I live in Britain, and ne'er the twain shall meet, it seems, as far as fate goes. But I will get back to Ceri again one day. She's been over here a few times because her mother is from over here. So anyway, she opened the door to me and went, and who are you? I went, I'm actually your replacement dancer. And she said, you can't be, you're too tall. I went, what do you mean you're too tall? I said, I'm 6'1", you know that's on my resume. And it turns out that, yes, I was too tall. I was replacing someone who was about 5'8". It was causing a few costuming problems because, of course, they tried to choose their dancers to fit the costumes, not the other way around. So when we actually got to do costume fittings, there had to be a seamstress in to try and help me fit into everything. That was the least of the problems, though, because when we got on board ship, we realised that the ceiling of the theatre with the lights in it, it was almost a cabaret room that I was going to be working in, and the ceiling was too low. I could stand. I could raise my hands above my head if I didn't put them directly above my head. But we had a few dance numbers with some high kicks in it, like can-cans and things like that. And every time I kicked, I would hit the roof. So what happened is they had to re-choreograph parts of the dances to accommodate the fact that I could kick, but I would kick into one of the wells in the ceiling where the lights were. So interesting, really. But there you go. I think that might just be a touch too much. So anyway, that's kind of where I started my ship career after doing one contract with, it was Carnival Cruise Lines I was with at the time. After doing one contract with them, I then came back to the UK. As I said, I think I worked with Danny LaRue for a while, and Craig Revel Horwood and I were two of his backing dancers and singers on his summer season and stuff like that. So I did probably about a year, maybe a year and a half with Dan. We did summer season, we did pantomime, we did a couple of small TV things, I think. I don't know, it's a long time since I did that. So, and unfortunately Dan has passed away in the interim, but a lovely man, got along very, very well with him. And a lovely chap. And we did things like we worked with Freddie Davis and we worked with other people when we did charitable things. I think at the time, he might have been the president of the Water Rats, which is a group of, I can't think how to say this. It's not a group. It's like an association for performers, professional performers and entertainers. So I can't clarify that because I can't work out how to tell you it. So anyway, so he was very, very well known. Let's put it that way. In his time, Dan was a very, very big star, and deservedly so as well. He was a female impersonator, but he never wanted to be called a drag queen because he wasn't. He was literally a female impersonator, so he would actually do shows where he would be Dolly Parton, or he would be Joan Collins, or he would take on things like that. He would also do show songs as well. So very interesting characters, as I said, very loving, very generous. So after I worked with him for a while, I then saw an audition for Princess Cruises Los Angeles, and I auditioned for them. Got in there and ended up in New York launching a brand new ship, which at the time was the biggest cruise ship in the world. If you look at it now, it's probably this. Well, I don't even think the ship still exists anymore. I think I need a little bit in there. It was the biggest cruise ship in the world, and now it probably looks like the smallest cruise ship in the world if it was still afloat, because cruise ships have become huge. But I was on board for the launch. Its inaugural cruises out of New York. It was wonderful. I sort of was mixing with Vogue models and West End stars, and good grief, we had Sophie Loren on board, we had Tommy Tune on board. A lot of really big names from the entertainment and film world were on board for that, and I was so grateful. It gave me a taste of a life that I thought I would never have had. And then I worked for that company for 14 years. I mean, until it got to the point where I was like, I think I need to retire. Well, I didn't think I needed to retire. I knew I needed to retire because I was 43, almost 44. Most of the team was at least 15 years younger than me. I was doing, probably 10 shows a week. So 2 shows a night, 5 nights a week. Might even have been 6 nights a week on some of the contracts. It was grueling, and the shows were getting tougher and tougher. We used to sing, we used to dance, we used to do tap dancing. We used to do crew staff duties as well on some of the ships. Like you'd be there, you might be calling bingo one night, or you might not be. It depends on what contract you were on. I ended up as a dance captain myself for that company. And then, as I said, in October 2003, I stepped away from that career because I feared I was going to get very badly injured. And it was just getting too physically hard at someone at that age. So I stopped. To this very day, I mourn not performing. But then when I look at my life now, where I'm doing TV, I'm doing live performances on the internet, I'm doing big shows where I'm judging and talking and lecturing. I think that's why everything just replaced everything. So I'm a big believer in all of the elements in my life have actually taken me to the point where, that was who I am now. It's all the ingredients in the recipe of making Ceri, let's put it that way. So anyway, came back to Britain, discovered I could do cake decorating without working in a bakery anymore, which I then did. I then started designing for a company called KTC Designs. I designed molds for arts and crafts. I did that for, this is year 7, I think, that I'm working with that company. About 3 years ago, I first discovered Gayle Agostinelli. So I'm trying to jump back and forward timelines here. And she really inspired me, her bravery that she had to just put it out there, that I'd always done arts, I've always done crafts, I've always done stuff like that, but I'd never let it be public. I'd never put it out there because I wasn't brave enough. But when I saw Gayle doing what she was doing, and I was like inspired and went, you know what? I really do want to become a completely rounded artist in doing what I do, and that's what I did. Basically, so it's all thanks to Gayle Agostinelli that I started my Etsy shop, that I turned my YouTube channel around, got it back to where it was, where my Facebook page is now back on track again. Also, the pandemic wiped my business out. My business was traveling the world, teaching, demonstrating, doing stuff like that all around the world on cake, and there were a few craft shows dotted around in there as well. And I had to rebuild, hence we've got burning and starting all over again. I'm going to put this there because I really want to put something that's, I think, by there. So yes, I had to start yet again. My business used to be traveling the world, teaching, demonstrating, judging, lecturing on cake decoration and design and bakery, and the pandemic took that all away from me because there was no travel. No one's going to big events. There weren't any big events, and I had to start all over again. So I dug all my skills out. I pulled myself together, brushed myself off, and here I am. Ceri Griffiths Creators Designs is actually now a thing. I do television shows for craft companies. I do cake shows for cake companies. I've become a well-rounded person. A lot of it has to do with all of the elements in my life that got me to here, and especially the inspiration and the bravery of Gayle Agostinelli. So that's why I wanted to celebrate this. Right, let's focus on what I've done, because I've just been throwing things at this page. Right, I've created a good background. May look a bit confusing, but actually I like the way that it's different pieces and different patches. It's almost like the patchwork of my life. It's all different elements on here, and I'm loving that. And I've already used 1-2 of the elements that I was supposed to use. Now, there is another couple of things I want to put on here. Probably not yet. I created this in one of my videos, which was a product review for these brads by a company, and I can't remember which one it is. And I love this, and I've been holding on to it and not knowing what I want to do. And I think I want to put that on there. So I'm very excited about that, because I now have a home, because I didn't want to give this away. I love it, and dragonflies to me are incredibly important. Every time I've had to make a decision in my life, a dragonfly will appear. Or the person I'm going to a job interview with will be wearing a dragonfly on a pendant or earrings or a necklace, or there might be actually one when I'm doing a walk in the country, or I remember there's one really pivotal time in my life where I was deciding what to do. And I live in the middle of a big city. And my mother was sat in the garden and I went out with a cup of tea and she'd say, "You okay?" And I said, "Well, no, I'm trying to work out what I'm supposed to do." And lo and behold, this enormous dragonfly flew into the garden and came to rest near us and then flew off again. And we don't have any ponds near us. We're not near any wetlands. And we still, this very day, don't know why that appeared. Well, I know why it appeared. It appeared because I needed it to appear. Okay, right. So that's going to be on there. So what else needs to be? Okay, I've got the slides to get on here somewhere. And I think the slides will actually represent two things, and I might only use one of them anyway. One is my father used to take slide photography, as you heard me say in the beginning of this video, and also if this will represent my love of photography, which is also in transparencies or slides. So those will go, one of them or all of them will go on there. What else? That's just, I went through and had a rummage to see what I could find, and if I could pick it up, I'll bring it over to you. Okay, another thing for me I've discovered is I never realised I had a problem with anxiety overwhelming me. And a couple of years back, maybe 3 or 4 years back now, I started using a planner, a physical planner, and it's helped me change my life, move it completely around. So this does need to go on here, and I think I need to put it on here before I decide on anything else, because I'm going to grunge it up a bit so it fits in, because a planning system to me stops me being overwhelmed, stops me getting anxiety attacks about the fact that I've forgotten to do this, I've forgotten to do that. I put everything in the planner, I write it down in pencil, and then when I do it, I change that pencil to ink. If I don't get it done, I just rub it out and move it to another place in my planner. So things are never forgotten. I do have a bit of a backlog of things I'm supposed to be doing, but I like the fact that I don't lose it. I'm not without the memory. I mean, I have, and I'm very blessed with it, I have an incredibly vivid imagination, and it's productive beyond belief, and it's part of who I am and what I am. And if I don't write things down, if I don't make a record of the things I've thought about, I would then stress, because there's lots of good ideas come out of my brain, and unless they're recorded in some way, I will just stress. So let me just show you, for example, if I can reach it. Okay, this, and I'm not going to flick you through, but all of this are all of the different things that are ideas that are on the go with me. So I constantly throw things down in this book, and then all of these become projects or ideas or products in some respects. I mean, so I always record stuff. So if I've got that there, that goes up there. Right, I wanted to represent Gayle in some way on this spread, which is a bit tricky. I didn't want to insult Gayle in any way, and I had no pictures of Gayle. I know she loves bunny rabbits, so it may be the bunnies. And I know she loves this Tim Holtz person, and that sort of appealed to me, because even though it's a girl, it does represent dance, which also represents part of me. And then I did find this one that in my mind, Gayle, please don't be insulted. This, I would have imagined Gayle looked like that when she was a little one. I don't know. I can just... Actually, you know what? I think I am going to do that. I'm going to save these other two pieces just in case I have a body moment. But I think, Gayle, this is going to become you. At this point, you're probably screaming at the video going, "I never had blonde hair as a child." Well, you know what? You do now. So I'm going to just pop this on with a bit more of this matte medium. And I hadn't thought of sitting her on the corner of that book, but that absolutely works for me. Put a layer over the top so everything is protected. I am quite liberal with my matte medium, by the way. I think it's probably because when I do mixed media work normally, I actually use inks and wet mediums, so I'm a bit cautious about not putting layers on. Right, so we've got Gayle on the page. where I want to put one of these. I need to leave them so they're in my sight, so I'm always remembering, all right, what were the other elements, Griffiths? You've got the bag, you've got the texture, you've got the paper, I've got the cogs up there, which may actually be going on next, and I've forgotten what the last one is. Texture, bag, that, slide, cut. Oh, okay, I have done them all. Right, let's pull in the cogs. So let's do these while I'm talking about them. Okay, the cogs to me represent hard work. And goodness only knows, if there's one thing in my life I've done, it's work flipping hard. And I think I want that right there. Yeah, I've never been one for shying away from work. I also tend to not sit on my laurels. In my opinion, anyone who stands still, basically, well, I'm not going anywhere, that's obvious, but you can't stand still in life. It's just not, for me, it's not something I can do. Well, it's a bit tricky to get this stuck down, isn't it? I'll put all three on and then maybe put something over the top and press it down. So, right. Yeah, I can't stand still. Yes, I am a workaholic. When I die, it's probably going to be from a heart attack because I know I don't drink enough water. I know I don't rest enough. I know all of those things about me. It's my nature. I can't. I'm trying to alter things. I've been very good this last year. I've put into place going on holidays. I've taken a lot of things out of my life that cause me anxiety or stress. Actually, I quite like that there. So I'm trying to fine-tune my life, should we say. I do sound like I'm on the analyst couch at the moment, or sofa, don't I? But you get where I'm going. I came to realise, probably just before the pandemic had actually, that there were things in my life I needed to change because if I didn't, they would kill me. So, and I think being a workaholic was definitely one of them. And I can't say I've remedied that fully. What I've done is I tend to work on things now that give me more joy instead of working on things that give everyone else joy. I'm trying to put me first, which for me is a very unnatural thing to do. But anyway, as I said, that's sort of where I am. This page is feeling very, very thick and heavy. But you know what? It's fine. It's my journal. I think that's another reason why to do this in here, because if anything ever comes unstuck or doesn't work well, it's mine and I love it. So, right, so I've got the cogs on here. It is literally one of these needs to go on, and then everything in here, I think I need to leave it to last. Right, what else needs to go on here? I'm wondering whether I need to put this on here now to establish where things are. I think I do. Right, I need to put this on. And hopefully it'll stick. This is quite a thick element I'm trying to put on here. So, obviously at the time of doing this, I have no idea whatsoever what Gayle did with my pieces. I'm really excited to see what it is. I think Gayle probably made a journal cover. Because I know that I sent her stuff that could have been used on the journal cover. I can't actually remember what I sent now, thinking about it. I think there was some vintage lace in it. I think that's fine. I like that there. I like that there a lot. Right, so that added to that. So yes, I'm looking forward to seeing what Gayle came up with. Right, now I did pull something else out in here, which I wasn't not 100% certain, but now I think we've got everything bar the picture slide down. I can start adding things that might be slightly unusual. Now, I pulled this out, a die cut, because I have done film. I do entertainment, and I wanted to put this on here, and I think I'm going to, and I've got an idea of what I want to do with it, and I don't mind if it's layered over the planner, because that's also fine. I mean, mixed media is about layers, 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 and I don't mind that actually goes over there. So let's see if I can do this. This is going to be a bit tricky because it's a very thin piece of a die cut. Can't remember whose die cut it is. It's, if you search die cuts movies or die cut film, you'll probably come up with it on most sites. It's not an uncommon one, let's put it that way. Right, let's put that. Oops, not by there. I'm going to put it by there. Be good if it was relatively straight. Let's brush over the top of that, because I've got a definite idea of what I want to put into these frames, and I have a very definite story about what the things are that are going in it. So let's put this down. Right, I need, sorry for the crinkling, I need a wet wipe. I've just put matte medium all over my hands, so it needs wiping off. So hopefully you're enjoying this. As I said, it's a bit of an eclectic something to be doing, but I mean, this page will mean something to me. And it's a celebration of several things, which I always find it easier to create if there's a story or a reason behind it. Sorry, tearing noiseless kitchen paper. Now, what I pulled out was, I pulled out these 3 butterflies. They're the same butterflies 3 times. And I'm just going to ink the edges of them while I tell you about these. Now, these will, I don't know whether they are monarch butterflies. They do remind me of monarch butterflies. So I'm going to call them monarch butterflies, even if they're not meant to be. And the reason I'm using these butterflies above any other butterfly is I was raised for part of my childhood in New Zealand. I was raised on an island for a few years, and also I was in Auckland, New Zealand, in a part of New Zealand called Wood Bay. And the house we lived in was a small house on a hillside, as the other houses in that area are. It was only a little one, nothing posh, just a regular run-of-the-mill house. The front of the house was on stilts, and the back of the house was into the hillside. So you can see the scenario. So that was home, and quite a way up the hillside. I must admit, we weren't at the bottom. We were about halfway up. So it was a really long drive. And I remember as a kid playing there with my sister and things like that. And I'm going to start putting these down now, by the way. And one night we all went to bed. And in the morning when we got up and went out to the front of the house, which had to be kind of a balcony type situation because it overlooked the driveway and the house was on stilts at the front, so it kind of had to be, calling it a balcony was posh. It was the front of the house, basically. And when we went to the front of the house and looked to our right, no more than 6 or 8 inches away from the side of our house, there'd been a huge landslide during the night, which we had heard nothing of. Our neighbour's house was now at the bottom of the hill, in the middle of the road. No one was injured. That was the other saving grace about this. Let's put that in, stop it moving around a minute. So no one was injured, no one was killed. The house was perfectly okay at the bottom of the hill. It was just in the middle of the highway at that point. Not probably the best place for a house to be, but it is what it is. However, where there had been a landslide, it had exposed the soil underneath the hill. And the whole side of the hill, apparently, was clay. Now, which is probably why there was a landslide, because the soil had just sloughed off the top of the clay and it had slid all the way down the mountainside or hillside. However, I think once the clay had been exposed, it gave off fumes, and these fumes attracted clouds and clouds of monarch butterflies. However, they all died. I think the fumes must have been toxic to the insects. So when we looked out to the right of our house, almost the entire side of the hillside was covered in these huge dead monarch butterflies all over the place. And it's been a memory that has stuck with me my entire life. I've often joked that I want to write a book about my life, because it is an interesting life. I believe it is anyway. And I've been trying to write that book for probably 20, 30 years now. There's bits of it on the computer and I doubt it will ever get finished, but it started anyway. And the title of the book is And All the Butterflies Died. And that's where that memory comes from. So for me, I thought that would be a really thing to put there just to remind me. So we've got hard work, we've got memory from a childhood, we've got how organisation has saved my sanity pretty much, how Gayle has been instrumental in changing my life, how dragonflies have changed my decisions and pivot points, how I've evolved from this through entertainment to an artist. A lot of it is very important to me. Right, I did have another picture of butterflies to go on there, but I think that's too much, so that just needs to go to one side. I did have this bit of green that I really like the colour of, and I think I'm going to put it in up there. Don't ask me why, I don't know. I was just attracted to this piece of green craft paper. So that can go on there. So, and it's quite good because it'll tie that bit together. That looks a bit as if it's the land that time forgot up there. And it may actually be instrumental in showing me what else needs to be there. Get that a bit of a squish down. Right, so that's my deal with butterflies actually, and I've always been fascinated by butterflies, and as I said, that's always just stuck in my mind. So interesting, it's weird. I don't know whether anyone is from New Zealand and that's ever happened before. I really don't know. Okay, so I'm sort of getting to the point now where I think I have to make a decision about the slide. And I have to look at the other elements that I did pull out and go, do they really exist here or not? Or need to be? I'm not liking the colour of this. I wonder how much I can take it down without it looking as if I've really overcoloured it. I'm also wondering whether I want to take the slide or the image out of it and just use it as a frame. I might do that because I've no idea. It's a picture that means nothing to me. Look, I'm liking that better. And actually I do have an idea. Right, one of Gayle's favourite words is the word kind. Now I don't have the word kind, but I have be kind. I can just cut that off. I could put that on the page and put it in the picture frame. So I've never actually met Gayle, and we haven't even done a video call, which is a thought, Gayle. Maybe we need to video call each other one day and have a chat. How about that for a thought? I think probably by there would work. So I need to put this bit down first. Sorry, thinking. I'm also trying to get things straight. It's always a huge problem for me. Looking through an iPad and wearing varifocals. Not the easiest of things, people. Right. Just going to put a bit of this matte medium on the back of this. I don't mind if it squidges out the sides. This is just a bit of a heavier card stock. I want to make sure it's fully on there. I don't want this bit coming off. That should do it. Sorry, I'm about to go in and out. Hopefully won't be knocking your shoulder on the lens of my shoulder. Right, let's just put a little bit around the edges just to glue that in. I think that's fine. Does it look okay? Okay, we'll just sit on there. I'm not sure. Hopefully that'll stick down. It should do. What's that bit by there? Oh, I've pulled that off somehow. That's okay. We'll put something on that. It's a bit of a thought bubble for Gayle, maybe. Right, what else did I have over here? Right. I'm kind of getting to the point where I think I've probably done it, guys. I'm looking at that little bit there, which actually makes me feel that whole piece needs something in it just to bring some interest across, and I'm quite happy to put a bit more of this in there because it's such a beautiful piece. Let's pop that in there. So yeah, I've got, it feels like 1,001 stories in my life. And I don't tend to share my stories or my life that often, so I thought this might be a nice opportunity to do that. And I mean, I've mentioned Gayle a lot in this video. There are other people who inspire me, obviously. I mean, Tracy Fox is one who I really admire. There's, I can't remember her name, I always forget how to pronounce it. There's a few artists out there who I do watch and I do admire and I do follow, and I love their work. Basically, I'm drawn to creative people, and I hope most of us are. So, right, now let's have a little think about the last bits. Did I want to put the ballet dancer in there? She can't be on the same page as Gayle. They'll argue. If it's going to go anywhere, it would have to be there. So what else have I got? I did find this, which was Nothing to Stop You, which I was thinking would go there. It's wrong there. I know a lot of times in my life I've not done things because I've been scared to do them, or I've been scared of failing at them, or I've thought I'd humiliate myself, or I just haven't believed I would be able to do them. But when I look back through life, I've had a life where who the hell starts a full dance career at the age of 25 and makes it work? I mean, who starts a business, loses it, and a month later starts another business? Who just gets up and does it? I mean, not everyone does that, and it's probably ignorance and stupidity on my behalf that make me do it. But you know what? I don't know what it is. I mean, success is only due to those who are brave. I'm not sure I even believe in that. I just think having a go is the most important thing. Right, let's stop me talking for a second and have a look at this. That needs to be squished down a bit. I thought that was looking pushy up. Pushy up? What's pushy up? So just squeeze that down. There you go. Obviously, I would let this sit well overnight to dry before anything else. Let me just have a little think. I just thought I could put one of my own labels there. These are labels I've just made. That's kind of okay. I'd like it a bit bigger if I could find one that I really liked. There is a video of me making these labels. No, actually I could put a number there. That's another thing I could put there. That looks too white to me. I want to say it might be label masterboard or something like that. Something along those lines. Have a look through the playlists, guys. There's bound to be one there. I think that's the one that'll go there. But mind you, when I was saying about numbers, I think I want to look at numbers as well. Because numbers, sorry, reaching under here. Numbers, again, are something that are incredibly important to me. I'm just going to put that one on there. Everything is about numbers. It's just, I've always felt numbers are important to me. So yeah, can't qualify that statement. It just is. Right, and I want this bit close to that. Actually, it can go in by there. .43 has absolutely no significance. I've just put it on there because it's the first one I pulled out that I liked. Let's take those out for a second. That might help you see it a little bit clearer. I will, when it's dry, go in and trim all of the edges off. What I would say is, if you look at the thumbnail of this collage. You'll see the finished thing in its entirety. There may be a chance for me to put the thumbnail on at the end of this video. I'm unsure. I need to see how I do that. In fact, it's probably just a case of sticking it on the end. I'll need to take the picture first. So right, okay, so I think that's it done. I've used all of the elements, Gayle. I put bits of myself into this. I'm happy with that. This will be forever in my memory now. I do have the slice here, or the piece here. What's going to happen there is I'm going to cut myself a piece of card. It may even be a bit of the Tim Holtz card that I was given by Gayle. And I'm going to slide it in. Let's see if I can just find it as something. So what I'm going to do is that will get trimmed out, and then there'll be something slid in there that will then just be something I can pull out to remember the whole of this thing. I wonder if there's anything in here that's a journal card. God, remember doing that one. Oh, there you go. If that doesn't match that, I don't know what does. Okay, I need to wait for that to dry, but it's an idea anyway. So I'm thinking about putting one of those sort of things into there. Yeah, I'll think about it. I might leave that one out. Okay, so I'm going to call this done now. Gayle, this was a fabulous challenge. So much thank you to you for taking part. This was fun. This is what it's supposed to be. It gave me the opportunity to do this spread, which was unplanned until about an hour and a bit ago. It's given me the opportunity to use that. It's for me, it's all about reinventing myself, the things that made me who I am along the way, hard work, numbers, which basically represent my OCD, parts of my anxiety are on this page, my friendship with you, our friendship of dance. It's just, thank you. It's been wonderful. I'm not going to put an end plate up to this, guys, because this isn't about advertising me and promoting me. This is just me having some fun with a very dear friend of mine. So I'm going to leave it here. I might have a still shot of this once it's all dried and I've managed to photograph it. So look out for that. If not, thank you for joining us. As soon as Gayle's video is posted, it'll be in the description box, which is there, a little grey V. In that description box, I'll put a link to Gayle's video. Okay? So thank you very much for joining me, guys. Hope this wasn't boring. Hope this was kind of interesting. A little bit of an insight into who I am, what I am, and the ingredients here have made me who I am, and there's so many more ingredients in the cupboard. Okay, thank you guys. Until next time. Bye-bye now.